Greetings, all. I hope you can hear me okay. I broke my mic and now I'm waiting for a new one. So, this month, I'm actually going to talk specifically to you abstract painters out there. All painters can listen to this, but it's the abstract. And sometimes we forget the reason we came to abstract in the first place. I mean, it's a way to let go, it's a way to just get into pure consciousness and presence. Whereas if you think about spaces and narrative painting, where you have architectural forms, you have perspective. Whereas the abstract painter is that poet. They can be nonsensical and they can get into oneness. Now, hello everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lauren Montcalm. I am primarily an abstract painter, although sometimes it's going to be an abstract landscape. For a commission, I paint the ineffable. And here's the interesting thing that comes to this prompt that I'm going to give you for this month is I am preparing, in fact, I leave tomorrow. It's June 1st today. June 2nd, 2025, I have a show, a solo show in Portland, Oregon at Froelick Gallery. The links will be in the notes below. And I'm calling the show A Flash of Beauty. I believe beauty has a divine intelligence all of its own, and it's beyond an aesthetic. And it's interesting because if you know my channel or you know my work or you've come to my workshops, I talk a lot about the spiritual approach to work, which can be catchphrases these days. And what I mean by that is spirituality on the surface, if such can be, because I believe spirituality is a certain amount of investigation for the depth of our soul, not religion, but asking the questions of how do we connect into oneness. And within that depth, we sometimes don't have words, or it goes under the umbrella of New Ageism, woo-wooism. Many of us have been in conversations where you might say, oh, I don't mean to sound woo-woo, but, and everyone else in the room might go, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe 100 years from now, we might get back under the umbrella of what it means to come back into oneness, connection, and unity. And I believe this is beyond politics, beyond black and white, until we get into really recognizing and honoring what unites us as opposed to what separates us, I think we're going to be in trouble. Okay, so back to before we go into a meditation, I'm just going to share a few notes. I get to have the honor of doing a gallery talk on the preview opening on the 4th for any of you Portland artists or people or collectors out there. It will be at 5:30 at Froelick Gallery. Like I said, the links will be in the notes. And I had to write a statement. And for some reason, the statement was a little different than what I usually do. I'm looking for something that's more concrete than using the lingo of essence, spirituality, be five senses. I talk about a three-tier universe: consciousness, the mundane reality, and the unconscious. And so within that search, I found a quote which really got me spinning and really thinking about what it is I do as a painter and how I came to painting was looking for a poetry, a way to describe or be in a presence that was beyond this mundane physical world. And here it is. It's by the poet Wallace Stevens. The imagination loses its vitality the more it ceases to adhere to what is real. I'm going to say that one more time. The imagination loses its vitality the more it ceases to adhere to what is real. So here I am looking for ways to almost transcend this reality and be in this la la land. But really, in order to transcend, we need to be fully grounded in reality. That's what he's saying. Our imaginations thrive by engaging with the transforming of reality. And the more we can have different perspectives, the more we are removing ourselves from this either or, black or white, right or left. And as painters or poets, as artists, it is our raw materials. It is like the words, or for painters, it is the paint, it's the brushes, it's the canvas itself. I believe it holds energy, potent energy for that matter. And within these raw materials, we're transforming them into new forms, and for me, meaning and beauty. Painting, I believe, is a poetry, a quantum whole. I show up, I pay attention. Not by entering the head, but a letting go. I talked about this a little bit, might have been last month. There's an artist named Amy Sillman, and she talks about what is your unit? She uses the word unit. And unit means like, what is it that you do in your process? Like for many years, I thought my OCD, it gets me into trouble. I overpaint, I overpaint, I overpaint. And as she says, and I wanted to snatch it from her, I get into trouble and then I get out of trouble. That's my process. I enter in by not thinking, I stand back, I let it respond, and then I go back into non-thinking. So you think a little and non-think. I call it structure and release in my painting teaching practice. So ultimately, they are tension points between reality and imagination that transcends what is into something better. We're visionaries. I'm envisioning another world where we're connecting to the invisible. The invisible can be just as real as the visible. We don't know. Like, we don't really know where we go when we die. So my rambling that I realized in doing this gallery talk is really to remind myself to bring it into concrete reality. I show up, I am present, and I pay attention to the little details, the smallest little details. There's an art critic named John Berger. And John Berger wrote Ways of Seeing, but he also wrote a book called Portraits. And I love how he starts one of his essays, because he's writing about the cave paintings in Spain, France, Spain, Basque Country, and how the pictorial sense was the horses or the cows that are running all sideways. And he's telling his own story about being in a pasture with cows and how slow they move and how their sense of time is so much different than our own. And then he weaves into talking about experts that want to say, oh, we see how this pictorial sense of space is now becoming a perspective. And he says, that's just rambling, because perspective is an urban architectural thing, where really what they're doing is they aren't disconnecting by distance. This is their relationship to connection to these animals. I find that so beautiful and sublime. So I'm going to invite you all this month, and I might have talked about the unit last month, so I'm just going to add on a little layer. I'm going to do this meditation, and for all of you out there that are seeing this YouTube video, you can join my mailer for free and get the prompt. What is your unit? So if you thought about that last month, Like mine is getting into trouble, getting out of trouble. Where do you slow down? For John Berger, it was the end of the day and bringing the cows from the pasture into a different pasture. For me, it's, and I don't realize it. So this is something you might not pay attention to. Like, what do you really pay attention to? Because the artist's job is to pay attention and then report back. And if you're reporting in abstract language, it's like trying to put your arms around the ocean. But our senses are affected. And so I'm affected on my dog walk twice a day. I'm out in nature, I'm out in the wild. Lately, my dog's been chasing, he's done it twice, coyotes. And thank goodness, out of the grace of life and love, is there's only been one coyote, and he's a big dog. So he's protecting me. And you need to worry if there's more than three coyotes because they start howling and they go after their hind legs. So, what I'm paying attention to is danger. What is danger around me within this sublime high desert beauty where the flowers are starting to bloom and the cactus and just the sky turning from hazy blue to pink at sunset. All that infuses into me when I take it to my painting. Okay, so when you're ready, I would like you to gently close your eyes. Ah, and I want you to take a deep breath right into your belly and imagine any tension that you've had in the day to just feel it melting away. You're going to have a grounding cord of your own making at the base of your spine. And if you don't see anything, no worries, just feel. Just feel like, what is that weight at the base of your spine? Is it heavy? Is it light? Can you see what that grounding cord is made out of as it slowly moves through wherever you're sitting or laying down, through the floor, the land, moving in to the insular protection of the core of the earth, anchoring yourself in place. Now, can you bring yourself in your mind's eye to a place, a sense of place? It could even be in your own bathroom or closet. It doesn't have to be grand. It's just something that you can bring your attention to and really pay attention to the details and what those details might be saying to you. Just feel into it, the sense of presence. When you're standing in front of one of your paintings and about to make a mark, do you plan it out beforehand, or are you in the moment? And when you're responding to something else, you've made a mark or a color or a shape, can you bring yourself back to just the moment? Can you bring your own unit to a sense of presence of what you're affected by in your very daily life that is sacred and whole? Just breathe into this and feel if any messages are coming to you. What is your process? How is it different than the description of my process? Just take in the visceral, feel if anything comes up. What do you love to paint? Is there a certain color you might see in your mind's eye? Can you connect the dots of how that relates to your sense of presence somewhere in your everyday life? Just feel into the senses of this. Our consciousness is our greatest gift. We can shift our perspectives. We can imagine a future. We can ground ourselves in reality with the tools that we use to make art, to elevate the life we live in. It's not frivolous. It's important work. Beyond just color and shape, it's an expression of your soul, your mind, your experiences. What can you do today to elevate your painting practice? Could be making a painting, it could be contemplating a painting, it could be writing about your process of painting. And with that, gently, ever so gently, wiggle your toes and fingers. Open your eyes. Take a few things in the room to anchor yourself in this present time. And as always, my name is Lauren Montecon from Montecon Studio. I'll see you all next month with my report from my show. Take care. Be good. Bye-bye.